Down on my knees. Won't you come see me in the morning when I'm on light? Hi there. So I've been spending a bit of time trying to sort out this sail to make sure that we can have a bit of shelter for our makeshift kitchen. We never did build the kitchen because we had to go back to the UK early. Anyway, these sails are really good, but you've got to sort of set them up correctly. So you have to have one point really high, and that still isn't really high enough, and then one point a bit lower, and then the final point even lower still, so the rain comes off, drips off. But yeah, once you get that sorted, it's really good. Yeah, so just a little bit of tinkering on that, but pretty much got that. They are amazing things, these, because they produce so much water. So this one, this massive sail here, as you can see, it's raining at the moment, comes all the way down here. And again, it drains off really nicely. However, I had to put these here because it was wearing away, and it still is wearing away the path a bit there. So yeah, that needs to be sort of organized. I need to think of a better way of distributing that, get some guttering or something, try and get this point to be the lowest point and then gutter it down there, maybe, I guess. All a bit difficult when you are limited to what things you can tie it up to. Yeah, but what I realized is it took me a while to sort out this one. I've tried it in lots of different ways, and that seems to be the best way. And it was frustrating because I had other jobs to do. And then I realized I was preparing for winter. Preparing for winter. It's been a lovely day today until the rain started coming down. And you know how it is. We pray for rain, and then we've had absolutely bucket loads of rain, and it's been quite difficult. But preparing for winter. Look what I found by the bins. By a bin. The inside of a washing machine. This will make a fabulous burner, be able to cook on it, and it'll cost nothing. Sitting on one of these trivets, which is really handy, which I had already, which was just kicking around. So already I have that. And then I found this stool legs. I thought, yeah, well, that I found at another bin. And I thought, yeah, maybe I could have it a bit higher. Dual height. This one for cooking on. This one for sitting around on. Obviously, what I'll do is I'll put some pins in there so that slots in and it's nice and stable. And anyone who talks about rocket stoves, well, I love this. This was on our land when we came. It's just fallen apart literally today, actually, when I moved it. But here, a rocket stove, literally built out of tin cans. There's the bit. You literally have a little tiny fire in there. If you don't know about rocket stoves, find out about them. They're really, really good. And I wonder whether this one was used to make charcoal, because you can use them to make charcoal, but they are really efficient little burners. So if you think that they're a new thing, they're not a new thing. They've been going around for a long time. This was obviously really old, and it's just been simply made. Love it. I might recreate one just for the fun of it. So yeah, preparing for winter. It's time to do that. So also I've been picking out loads of brambles. The brambles can be quite easy to pull out at this time of year because we've had the rains. And so yeah, get on top of those beforehand, and obviously just tidying up and getting things a little bit prepared for the onslaught. If you think that Portugal is full of sun, it's not. There is plenty of rain as well. So another job that needs to be done in the winter, preparing for winter, is getting some veggies in. I'm not going to do too much right now. I'm just going to fill this little gap here. I'll show you. This little area here with some veggies. This is where I had potatoes before, just cropped a little bit of the last of them, and I might find a few more. And what am I going to do? Well, I've got some parsley. So I go to the agriculture and I just see what they've got, or the agricultural shop, and I see what they've got. And they had some cabbages, so I got some cabbages. Their type of spinach. There's the other cabbage, and then here's some parsley and some peas. Oh, that one's broken. So I'm just going to put them into this bed. Now I'm going to prepare it in an interesting way. I'll show you that in a minute. And here we've got some last year's garlic that was hanging up, and it started to sprout. So it got damp and it started to sprout. So I'm just going to plant that as well. And what I'm going to use this to break up the soil a little bit. I like no-dig gardening, if you've watched some of my other videos, but this time this was a no-dig bed, but it didn't work too well with the potatoes. So I'm actually going to break the soil up a little bit and add some organic matter that I have here. And I'm going to make trenches, fill those with organic material, and then plant on the top of them, because it gets very damp here in the winter. So I want to make sure that the roots don't sit in water. And yeah, so that's the plan. So that's me. Don't go over this. It was really quick with this broad fork. I really like it. As I say, I don't do a lot. I try and do mostly no dig. So this is unusual for me to buy this. I bought it because this soil is very full of clay, and I want to just add in some organic matter. I've had problems with growing things coming to fruition as well as I'd like. So this is another experiment. This broad fork cost me about 50 euros in France. I haven't seen them in Portugal like this. There is a guy in the Castelo Branco region who makes them, and the build quality on his looks fabulous. They're much more expensive, but they should be, because they're built really well, and they would last you a lifetime without a doubt. They look brilliant, but I don't need to do a lot because I'm mostly no dig, so this will suit me for what I want, and I haven't got masses of land. But if you've got loads and loads of land and you're growing a lot, then I would recommend getting one of his if you're in the Castelo Branco region, or come here on holiday and pick one up. Anyway, yeah, so this is dug over now. That was very easy with that broad fork, only took a matter of minutes. Now for the next bit. So here you can see I've put the twigs, the prunings from the olives. I know it's not the right time to prune olives, but these were just cut branches to make way for the sails. And yeah, so put them in there with some oak leaves and some wild cherry cutting. So there's some branchy, twiggy matter in there that will break down slowly, that sort of slow release. And yeah, then the next stage is the comfrey. So now I've put in the comfrey, and I added some docks as well. Dock leaves are fantastic for giving nutrients. They pull nutrients from deep down. I like dock plants. So yeah, the next thing is to put on this. Now this is what I've pulled up from around the olive trees, and it's well rotted olive leaves and other vegetative matter. And the idea is to build up the organic matter within this bed, and all my beds really. It definitely worked with my experimental hugel bed here, which has now got chia growing incredibly well and just coming out to flower. I'll put that in really late, so we'll see how that comes. And we had hundreds, or about 50 or so squashes come out of that, and we weren't even here. We didn't even water it. There was a watering system, but yeah, it works really well and it looks fabulous. So yeah, building up organic matter is the key here, I think. And obviously another thing to think about when prepping for winter is it's time for mushrooms. So I found these mushrooms on our land, parasol mushrooms and puffballs. Gonna make a nice little lunch, foraged lunch. Took me 5 minutes to forage these things. Well, we had a bit of rain there, so that's good. I've planted everything in different rows, cabbages, blah blah blah, and I put some more of the olive leaf mulch around everything, just to retain water if it does dry up. No, doesn't look like it's going to though, but also obviously it suppresses weeds as well. Yeah. So I think hopefully adding all this organic matter will help.